Hello, welcome back to another episode of Unfiltered Thought. So I'm just gonna do my laundry while we're doing this. I am thinking today that I feel like I have lost all my drive to be someone. So I'm 41 and I'm neurodivergent, meaning like I highly suspect that I am autistic. Um, Found out 11 years ago, 12 or no, 13 years ago, no, 14 years ago, 2011, when I was still working full time and not working properly because, that kind of creeps up on you. And when it was still called Asperger's and stuff. But anyway, that's not relevant. But like the neurodivergent bit is, um, I feel like ever since my mom passed away in 2012, I kind of just let go of the real world, so to speak, and trying to go into this chasing this dream of trying to make money online and everything. And I think I didn't realize it then, but I think it's because making money online, passive income, all these things that used to be sold to us millennials, um, kind of very appealing to me, mainly because you don't have to you have to put the work in, that's no doubt, but you don't have to show up for the money to show up in a linear manner, meaning like you don't have to show up today if you want to get paid today. Because working online mostly is about, for me anyway, residual income. So it's like royalties, basically the amounts of royalty you'll get if you sell an asset, a digital asset. In my case, I sell like SVG and PNG assets like that. So like you do the work, and I kind of like put, I don't know, tens of thousands of work basically up uploaded them online and hopefully make money uh, by the residual income. But and I think I just have a really huge expectations of that. Like I hope like this kind of work, it has to work. I didn't know back then that it was basically uh, maybe like an instinctive need to have that flexibility of always work when you have the energy. And of course, like back then I totally forgot that I might have like chronic illness. How do you totally forget? Easy. You have to be keep pressuring yourself to perform and make money and go from one job to another, and you do it without any rest, and you totally self-abandon yourself, and voila, you will be forgetting everything that causing you to be sick or to be you know basically be a human being. I think that's very difficult. So I'm just going to try to crochet this. I don't think I have enough yarn, to be honest. I'm trying to make hopefully a mobile pouch, so this should rise, but I don't think I have enough yarn actually. um and today I really found myself, oh, I don't particularly want anything, but that's not really true. I still want the same thing. I still want like all my assets that I have uploaded online, painting, um graphic designs, everything, like videos, like outside this channel. Like there is another channel that I have been uploading for years now, but none of my work actually enough to kind of like do adult things like to pay for a holiday, to pay for a house. None of them work out in that way. And I feel like I have to accept the fact that I might not have the talent for any of them. And it doesn't get any traction. And I feel like I'm not complaining about them, but I feel like, okay, I just have to accept that this is what it is. I have explored this desire that I try to convince myself that it will work out, that I convince myself that, it is worth the sacrifice, it is worth the isolation, it is worth all of these things. And I just I have to come to the, realization that it's not working out and it's not producing the fruits that I was asking for. And to be honest, I am grateful for the journey and the lessons, all that, yada yada. But at the same time, I feel also like I don't want to hustle. I don't want to keep grinding anymore because now at 41, I basically spend my whole 30 being sick, being starved, and having all that conviction. And I think like if you kind of rely on yourself for like 13, 14 years and just making sure that yeah, like you basically saying, "Oh yeah, I can do this," and then you found out after about 11 years, 12 years, "Oh no, I don't think I can do this." You kind of just have to accept that. Oh no, what now? You burned so many bridges in the past, and this won't be your first rodeo of trying to kind of keep going in life. But at the same time, I feel like that's the exact reason why I don't want to keep going. I feel like I just want to wake up and just read manhwa, because in my case, also my skin just kept getting worse and worse with each year, especially as I get 40 into my 40 this year, especially just get really worse and worse, and it feels like as if it's a confirmation of that I should give up on life. And I don't mean it in a dark and kind of like heavy way either. I feel like when I say give up, I mean just giving up on the trying to make money, trying to hustle, trying to grind, trying to have all my mind towards it. I feel like I just want to keep reading my manhwa, which something I fell back into about 3 to 4 years ago, maybe 2 or 3 4 years ago. Um, and yeah, maybe like 3 4 years ago. And I realized like when I was a kid, that's all I wanted to do. I just want to spend my whole day just reading manhwas. And for the past 2 3 years, I've been escalating that to the point now. I think maybe I'm doing that for like 10 hours a day, which is probably a very bad thing when you come to being an adult. But luckily, I feel like the only thing that's going to be harming is probably me. And I think I'm okay with that. It's not like, I'm a guy and I have to feed my wife and 4 kids. And I feel like a lot of men are probably doing that. Like they just like decided, no, I don't want to do anything that is, filled with responsibility, and leave their house and never come back, even though they have kids and responsibilities. I guess I'm doing that, but without the actual damage to other people in this case, like those men. So I don't know why I'm dragging those men like into this conversation. They definitely are not. Um, they definitely are not a part of this conversation. I guess. I guess I just want to say that I'm not the only one who does this. Even people who are in the real world doing the right thing also maybe thinking what I'm thinking. And it's not like having a holiday or something, because when you have chronic illness, you can't really have a holiday. So I have Hashimoto, which is like an autoimmune condition. It's very common among middle aged women. So And I noted, especially from a lot of online videos, from a lot of sources, mainly TikTok, of course. And what I love about TikTok is that it's a first person point of view. So you get like this rich information environment from other people that you don't know, but people who actually lived the experiences that you want to find out about. Like, if you want to find out about people who have cerebral palsy, for example, there is usually a channel for that because as a person who live with cerebral palsy, and a vlog, like a whole like hundred of videos about that. So I also have construction happening in my place right now upstairs, so it's gonna be extremely noisy. And I'm also on my period on my first day, and I've got a headache, so everything is just kind of like raging towards me. In the past, I definitely would have been just steamrolling it and thinking, oh, it's okay, it's only a headache, it's not gonna slow me down. Oh, it's only like a period cramp, it's not gonna slow me down. But these days, like yesterday, when I had my period cramp, I was like, that's it. This is all about this today. I am just not going to do anything. I'm just going to lay down here and just be in pain. I'm not going to push myself to do exercise. I'm not going to push myself to, cook. I'm not going to push myself to do anything. I'm just going to lay here and just be in pain. I mean, like I would take something so to ease the pain, but I'm not gonna push myself to ignore the pain. I guess that's what I was trying to say. And I listened to this video in the shower on YouTube. Basically, this girl was saying, "You come here to live on Earth, um, and it's not you're not supposed to spend like 8 hours or 9 hours of your life every day to basically be at work. It's like it's definitely like be miserable, and just have the sentiments of retirement to be happy. Like that's when you can be happy. It's as if like you dictated to be happy then, but outside that you're not allowed to be happy. And she goes to explore the fact that your best years is not supposed to be spent for. Well, that's what she thinks. I guess other people would have different thoughts about that. And then she said, we come to Earth and then it's meant to be enjoyed. Well, the conclusion of her videos was that you should enjoy life because that's what you're meant to do. You're meant to have is to enjoy life. And it's hard to enjoy life when you work. And I guess I kind of agree with her, but at the same time, I also not saying impractical stuff like, money is not important, etc., etc. So I feel like, what now? I no longer have any ambitions to be successful. Well, to be honest, it's not that I don't have ambition. I still do have the aspiration to be that, but I no longer have the drive. I don't have the health and the energy to do it. Because like I remember when I was turning 30. Well, it was 2014, so that was the year I turned 30, and I just felt like, okay, let's just do this for 10 years, and you know because I know if I don't pursue this desire to make money online or residual income, blah blah blah, I would definitely not have any more energy by the time I was 40. Like, I couldn't do it. I'm sure I couldn't do it. And now I'm 41. I realized, like, okay, I was right, like, back then. So I have no regrets, even though I'm failing right now, even though I never really made good money online. I just barely had enough. Like, it was never any real money, like, that you can get. Um, you can basically live off. I do live off it, but it was because I can live with a very little. So I am basically living like beyond poverty line, which is, I'm not complaining about. I guess I'm not regretting my decisions. I'm not regretting the fact that I have to live with without much food or without much any of other necessity. And it's not that, I guess I'm just more disappointed with the fact that I failed. It just means like, oh, I'm not talented enough for this. I couldn't figure it out. And I guess, like, as someone, as most people, and in the neurodivergent community, especially adult women, autistic, probably are so accustomed to being, like, some of us excelling when they were kids and masking really highly, and then something happened. In my case, a trigger was my mom's passing, and that kind of just burned down the whole nervous system, and you're burnt um, out. Recovery rate is extremely slow, and I feel like even now, 13 years later, after my mom passing, my nervous system has never come back to the state of functional as much anymore. And to be honest, I'm pretty proud that I still even managed to make any kind of money, maybe like even $1 or $2 from my work, maybe because I found that I could do that even in the state of burnout. That's something, right? Like, that means like you are being um fired from millions of directions, and you still produce something. It's like you have to keep, like moving your body around so that you don't get shot, and that you're still able to produce something out of that. So, in a fairness to myself, I guess, not trying to bring myself down fully, I guess, like, that's something to be proud of, even though in the translation of the real world that doesn't really mean anything, because what people see is not how I try to avoid these 10 million bullets coming down on me. What people see is the $1 that I made. And that's like, it's only $1. You can't buy even sweets for $1 these days. Like, a gum probably costs like $6, $12 a packet. So it's like that, I guess, when you are ill and when you are neurodivergent. It's very difficult, and it's not something that you need to constantly face if you were a neurotypicals. But I don't know. I guess I'm just talking out of my ass because I don't know what neurotypicals feels like. It just doesn't feel like it's as hard as my life for some reason. But I could be biased. But I guess I just want to come back to the initial thing that I want to talk about, which was the fact that I feel like I just don't have any more desire to do anything. I feel like I'm just surrendering to my tragic fate. Okay, that's exaggeration, but like, for whatever tragedy that is going to come my way, for surrendering from not doing my part as an adult, which is, trying to make lots and lots of money, etc., etc. I feel like I can feel my flame is extremely tiny right now, and just a breath away, like just one person's like exhaling, like that, is going to make it go away. It's gonna this extinguished it, and it's just gonna evaporate it, and it's just gonna have only smoke coming out of it. And I feel like that's what I feel like right now. It's like I'm just this really little tiny flame, and that's as far as I am capable of existing at the moment. I guess, like, I don't know what's the point of saying that I don't have any more capacity to, like, where do you go when you feel like you no longer have the energy to keep going? I mean, like, I try to push myself, and I feel like this is not sad. It's just a fact. Like, it's just a fact. This is just where it is at the moment. And and I'm not trying to invite motivational or empathical comments or like any kind of advice in any way. That won't help, because if that would help, it would have helped in the past. Um, and it doesn't make a difference anyway. Like, I'm not one of those people who where words makes that matters in my life too much. I guess I don't know. I guess I also don't, no longer have expectations or hope that things will change, because I feel like I have learned helplessness at this point. I feel like, oh, I don't think help is coming. In the past, I remember in the beginning in 2014, 2015, I just kept convincing myself things will change, things there will be something coming, that will just change the trajectory of this particular journey. But now, like 11 years in, like 12 years in, I'm like, nothing's gonna come in and change any trajectory whatsoever. Like, nothing has come in a dozen years. I don't think anyone's gonna come anytime soon to change the trajectory of my life. If they do, I don't think it will be helpful anyway. There haven't been. I've noticed that most people are quite selfish, and they just think about themselves. And I think it's rightly so, and I don't think it's a bad thing whatsoever. Especially as you get older, you realize like no one's gonna come and help you. You have to help yourself, and I think this is where people become really selfish. And I am learning that I also really need to be selfish as well. And I guess I just don't know how to translate that into making money in a lot of sense. I don't know. I guess life is just filled with a lot of. I feel like it's okay for me to go out this way. I mean, I've given my all. At least I don't regret it. Like, at least like I'm not in a job that I've been working on for like more than a decade. And then just kept wondering, I can do better. I can do better out there. I can make more money when I'm by myself, and I can work more money when I'm trying to figure it out, like how to make money for myself. At least, like, I didn't kind of live a life filled with like regrets of not knowing what if. Like, I explored my what if and I failed, which is still better than not exploring it, I guess. So, yeah, I guess I just want to talk about that. And I don't know, like, what would happen in the future? How would the future be changed? Anyway, that's it, guys. I'll see you later. Bye, everyone.